Ladies and gentlemen, do not say that the Kaiser is not a man of the people. Don't say that he does not pay attention to the desires of the audience, for indeed he does. You want more Rome at War multiplayer, and I am here to deliver with a video unlike any other we've seen on the channel so far. This is an 8-player free-for-all diplomacy regicide game. So everyone's got to figure out their own alliances. They've got to figure out how to win this thing. Every civilization has access to an emperor or a king unit, and if that unit dies, the player is defeated. Last man standing wins. Let me introduce you to our opponents. We have first in the green, the Conqueror, one of the developers of the Rome at War mod, playing as the Carthaginians. A very strong, interesting civ, and we'll get into civilization breakdowns in a second, and the bonuses that I think would be particularly useful in this game on this map. But first, player number 2, Natsumi Schwartz in the red, playing as the Spartans, that classical Greek city-state. In the blue, we have BP Dredge, playing as the Macedonians, home of Alexander the Great, one of the most famous conquerors of all time. Woo! Barely hanging on to life there, that hunter. Good job. All right. Next, player 4, we have Cristo Rey in the yellow, playing as the Roman Empire. I'm really happy that Cristo's here playing as Rome, because I want to say that you shouldn't have an 8-player Rome at War battle without Rome. It just doesn't feel right. So, we've got Cristo Rey representing the Empire. In the teal or the cyan or the light blue, whatever you want to call it, is appropriately enough a player... is this Laiki? Laiki. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. My apologies to you. But in the teal, Laiki here is playing as the Athenians, another Greek city-state, founder of the Delian League, opposed to Sparta's Peloponnesian League. Alright. In the orange, we have Doomed World, playing as, again, the Carthaginians. Now, what's going to interest me is, so this is our second Carthaginian player, and I'm wondering, will we see the Carthaginians team up? Is there a sense of shared camaraderie by picking the same civilizations and, representing Hannibal or something like that, right? You might see that. Of course, you do then miss out on, benefiting from different team bonuses. But, hey, that may be how it plays out. Speaking of, we have, in the black, Ice, playing as, again, the Athenians. Same question. Will we see a new Greek league allying the various Athenian states together? Or perhaps will they go to war deciding there can be only one true Athens? Who knows? And finally, in the purple, we have Visco II. No, Visco II, playing as one of the new civilizations for the mod, the Armenians, one of the horse lords of the game. And we find ourselves on Baltic, which I find a really interesting map because there's the potential here for both land war and naval conflict. We may see new naval strategies, we may see new land strats. Depends, If it comes down to Visco versus Natsumi, will they march armies across the lake or build up a naval force and send it straight through? Who knows? Now, before we get into the analysis, I want to highlight, I've kind of ignored this here. The Conqueror has taken a very significant early lead in navigating the diplomatic battlefield. And when you're playing on a Regicide 8-player free-for-all game like this,
yes,
one of the most important skill sets to develop is your sense of diplomacy. Because what you're trying to do is it's not just about having the strongest economy or the strongest military. It is about navigating the fine line between being too aggressive and being too peaceful. If you are someone who just goes right out and starts attacking right away, well, then you put a big target on your back as a troublemaker, and everyone else is likely to attack you. But on the flip side, if you're too peaceful, if you always sit in the passenger seat and you never take control for yourself, chances are that you're going to fall behind eventually to someone who takes the initiative. So the Conqueror here, taking an early lead, reaching out to everyone saying, "Hi, this is me, I'm only talking to you, do you want to be friends?" And if we look at the Conqueror's point of view, we can see that he is currently allied with everyone except for Cristo Rey. Now you might wonder, well, is there bad blood between, Conqueror and Cristo? But if we look at the diplomacy from Cristo's side of things, what you will notice is, and if I were to flip through every player, you would see this, is that Cristo is the only player who has left every opponent on enemy. Now that's going to be very tough for Cristo here, because if you find yourself, if you're one of these 8 players, and you're wondering, okay, we're in this game for however long now, and I should probably attack somebody. Who should I attack? You're trying to figure out who's your target, and you look, and everyone else has reached out to you or allied to you, and many players, such as, let me go to BP Drej here for a second. Yeah, he's taken the time to ally with everyone, and most of the players here have allied with everyone, or almost everyone, right? So there is this sense that by default, you ally with everybody, and then you wait to see how things pan out. If you are a player who does not engage in the diplomatic battlefield, you just sit back, leave everybody on enemy, and kind of mind your own business, people are going to say, well, we don't really have a relationship anyway, I might as well attack him, right? So Cristo is playing a dangerous game here. Now, early on, everyone's focused on their economy. Everyone's scared about making the first move. I mean, this is not a one-on-one, a 1v1 Age of Empires game. People are trying to figure out, how should I play this? Who is friend and who is foe, right? So I would not expect any kind of early Antiquity Age rushes. Most players are going to go straight up into the Middle Antiquity Age, which is Rome at War's version of the Castle Age, right? And so not a lot of early pressure. And so while there's this Pax Romana, if you will, let's go ahead and analyze the civilizations. And won't have the time to do an in-depth civ analysis, at least right now. I probably will do a video on Rome at War civilizations, maybe put out some kind of tier list. If that interests you, let me know in the comments below. Feel free to please, by the way, like this video and subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate each and every one of you that does that. But let's take a brief look at the civilizations and see what they may or may not bring to the table. With the Carthaginians, which is the Conqueror and also Doomed World, they're a cavalry and naval civilization. Now look at these first 2 bonuses here. All military units cost 15% less food, and cavalry armor upgrades are free. Now the first bonus I think is huge for the late game. That could be both in terms of massing up a powerhouse army in the Imperial Age, or even if we go into that post-Imperial trash war situation. If all of your trash units, those spearmen and skirmishers, scouts, if they cost 15% less food, then it's less of a strain on your economy than your opponent to produce more. It's less of a strain on your economy to produce more of them, right? So, I'll go back here, sorry. We got Cav Armor also, which is free, and I think that's a strong bonus if either player decides to do an earlier attack. Let's say that Doomed World decides he wants to take out BP Drej early, like in the Castle Age. Well, that means he can mass up knights quickly, and those knights already have the armor upgrades good to go. This is a, so you don't have to wait to get the blacksmith up, you don't need to buy those techs. They're available right out of the gate, and the Cav armor upgrades are the most important upgrades for knights. They're more important than the attack upgrades, and probably more important than bloodlines, too. So this is a really, really strong bonus. Probably not as useful in the late game, okay? Because with Cav armor, eventually, these cost-saving, these tech-saving upgrades, likewise with the naval techs costing 50% less, that's useful if you're going for some kind of timing attack. But eventually you get into the place where it's the post-Imperial Age, no one's attacking, and you're floating thousands and thousands and thousands of resources. In that situation, saving a couple of hundred food and wood is just not really doing that much for you. So, a really good bonus in a one-on-one situation or a short-term situation. A good bonus if you need to make tech switches later on, but not the biggest bonus or the most important bonus as the game goes on. Ditto for the trireme being available in the Middle Antiquity Age. Nice if you're going to do something early, but useless if we're going to wait until the Imperial Age to attack. War Elephant could be a really powerful, unique unit. The War Elephant is actually stronger in Roma ad Bellum than in the base game. It costs a little bit more, but it has more health, it moves faster, it does more damage. It's a beast of a unique unit. Okay? So, that looks pretty good. Next up, we've got BP Dredge. Once again, playing as the Macedonians. And they are an infantry and cav civ. Let's take a look at this. Barracks and stable units have +1 pierce armor in the Imperial Age. Again, I'm looking at this. There are two ways to look at it. All right, what if the Macedonian player goes for all-in knights or a strong infantry army, and he goes up against an archer force? Well, the extra pierce armor can make a world of difference, especially if it's knights versus archers, right? Or cavalrymen versus archers. So that could be really useful. Also, if we get into, again, a post-imperial slogfest, trash versus trash, spearmen versus skirmishers. This pierce armor will mean that skirmishers will take quite a few more hits before they go down. A really nice bonus for the Macedonians. Melee attack upgrades are free. Once again, timing attack. Useful in the short term, not really that big of a deal in the long run. Ditto for university techs, costing 50% less. The elite juggernaut tech is free. Okay, decent. That means that if he gets control of the water, then you can start putting out siege damage very easily. But, again, timing attack. Notice you have two unique units, the Argyraspide and the Tessara Conteres. The Tessara Conteres is basically a super transport ship. It is a massive transport ship that lets you fire arrows if you have units garrison inside. I forget if it's just archers or any kind of unique unit. Maybe the Conqueror can leave a comment below telling me one way or the other. But either way, it fires off arrows the more units you have inside. It also has a lot of HP, so it's not going to get sniped down nearly as easily as your typical transport ship. And then you have the Argyraspide, which, if I flip over to the romeatwar.org tech tree, which you will not see on the screen, unfortunately, but if you follow along with me to romeatwar.org/tech tree, you can, or I think that's /. Anyway, you go to romeatwar.org, you go to the tech tree, and you pull up the, what was it again? The Spartans? That's Macedonians, sorry. You go to the Macedonians. The Argyraspide is, let's click on that unique unit. It is a Macedonian unique spearman with increased attack range. Strong versus cavalry and infantry, weak versus archer. So, functionally, it is somewhat similar to the Kamayuk. This is a spearman that has an extra range, so it does very well against cav. Now, that doesn't mean that it is the Kamayuk. The stats are different. If I remember correctly, and don't quote me on this, but if I remember correctly, the Argyraspide, for example, has more pierce armor than the Kamayuk does. It has 2 pierce armor by default, and I don't think the Kamayuk has 2 pierce armor, but I could be mistaken. Now, I do want to highlight, I've had the camera over here, and I've missed a little bit of action, although there's not really been a lot that's happened, not a lot of deaths here, but there has been a war that has broken out between Black Ice in the black, as the Athenians, and Cristo Rey in the yellow as the Romans. For the most part, it's been skirmishing back and forth. Again, you see the watchtowers. Ice is trying to choke Cristo off of his gold. Cristo is responding by getting up some Praetorian prefects and some infantry. So we're going to see some skirmishing back and forth here between these two civs, but you didn't miss anything too exciting. while we're here, let's go ahead and talk about Rome. Cristo Rey in the yellow playing as the Roman Empire. The Romans get access to Capt Ram and Onager in the Castle Age. Useful in a situation like this. I say Castle Age, Middle Antiquity Age. That's useful here because he is currently in the Middle Antiquity Age and he needs to try to fight off his opponent now. So he's not in a situation where you're waiting for the, you're in the Imperial Age, you're massing up tens of thousands of resources. He needs to fight now. That could be useful. I would say in most situations, not as useful in an 8-player free-for-all, but it is useful here. Scout Cav, Skirmishers, and Spearmen all cost 20% less. This is a Byzantine-style bonus, except it is extended to Scout Cavalry. And that is a huge bonus. If we get to the late game, being able to mass up Scouts, Skirm, Spears at 20% all around less, that's the Carthaginian bonus, but just better, right? Because the Carthaginian bonus was 15% on food alone. This is 20%. Now, it's only 20% on these units, but it's 20% total. So food, wood, cheaper. Really nice bonus. Legionaries, which is a powerful, unique unit. It can switch between melee and ranged attack. So kind of like an infantry version of a Ratha with an awful lot of pierce armor. And it just allows you to get in both frontline and ranged damage from the same unit. It's a really, really nice unit. They train 25% faster in the Middle Antiquity Age, 50% faster in the Imperial Age. So a really nice bonus there. Legionaries have additional pierce armor. So if your opponent is going archers, Legionaries are going to do even better as the Empire, compared to the Legionaries you can get as the Romans or the Armenians, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. The Praetorian Prefect is a unique unit. It's a cav unit that does bonus damage against other cavalry units, if I am not mistaken. I will go ahead and pull that up in the Roman War Tech tree just to make sure. Yeah, Roman Imperial Unique Heavy Cav with a small bonus against other cavalry. So they're a very strong melee option. Great in a Prefect versus Knight battle. Probably not as good in the situation. They're not cataphracts, so the Spearmen will still do, good damage. Although, let's see. Well, you know what? The Athenian player has his infantry armor upgrades. The Praetorians do not have any blacksmith techs. And the Legionary does have one armor tech. But the numbers definitely favor Cristo Rey. So this push will fall short for ice. So the Romans, I think, are a very strong choice here. I think they've got a lot of good options. Go back over to Dredge real quick. I want to make sure. The unique text, I've kind of skipped over that. Maybe I'll come back to the unique text. For now, let's just focus on the bonuses, and we'll come back to the unique text. Next up, Teal. Playing as the Athenians, and that means we're also looking at Natsumi Schwartz in the red. The Athenians, an infantry naval civ. Text cost less throughout the ages. This is a Chinese-style bonus. Useful in a situation like Cristo Rey finds himself in. If you're needing text now in order to fight early on, those texts being cheaper is good. Maybe not as useful if you have allies and you survive into the late Imperial Age. Middle number camps costing less, Japanese bonus, Japanese style bonus. Same thing, really not that useful in the long run. Polyremes fire 33% faster. That will be huge if we get into a naval war situation. And BP Dredge says, I'm sweating. Let me check. Is he enemies with anyone? Yeah, he's enemies with Cristo Rey, because Cristo Rey's an enemy with him. But otherwise, I think he just doesn't want to be the first guy to die, I think when you find yourself in a 8-player community game situation, yeah, you want to win, but more importantly, I feel like for a lot of people, you just don't want to be the first guy to go down. You want to stay in and survive, maybe even get a couple of kills, and then if you go down, okay. Right, so I imagine that's got to be where Dredge is coming from. But yeah, so if the players take advantage of this naval situation, and the ocean has two things going for it. It's got a lot of fish, so a lot of free food. if you get the fishing ships out. And it is a fast gateway between civs. We see a lot of players walling up, for example. We see Natsumi Schwartz has walled up with stone walls. We see Conqueror has walled up with house walls. A lot of players, not all of them, but many of the players have walled up. And if you have control of the water, you just throw down a couple of transport ships or Tessa Conteres, if I remember right. And you can just ship your military over easily. All right, so that's something to maybe look out for. You can just skip over all these walls if you have control of the navy. And so, as an Athenian player, your polyream line, the monoream, the biream, the trireme, they fire 33% faster. They are the galley equivalent in the mod. And even though Rome at War features a wildly expanded naval system, I've featured that on the channel before. They have just a wonderfully more complex naval situation with all kinds of units. Certainly, one of the strategies that is available is an old standby, where you just mass up your galley line units, your monoremes, your biremes, your triremes, and that's a solid choice. You know, the game is so fresh, no one really knows what's meta, and you know there are definitely counters to that strategy, but it is a fair choice. And so, for an Athenian player, knowing those ships can fire faster, that's a nice one. That is a nice one. All right, let me go back here. We've also got, oh, look at this, even more. Quadrireme and Quinquereme don't require advanced weaponry, and they cost 10% less. A nice bonus. I feel like a broken record. Don't know how useful that is in a late game situation. If you are ice, you're fighting in the, well, now they're in the, no, I'm sorry. Ice is in the Middle Antiquity Age. So you're in the Middle Antiquity Age, and you know, maybe you get into the Imperial Age, and now you're trying to, you know, wrest naval control from your opponent, Cristo Rey. Then, you know, that would be something to maybe keep an eye on. That would maybe be useful. But if it goes into a post-Imperial late game situation, yeah, that's not really that useful. They cost less, though. That's nice. Good for massing. Short swordsman, broadswordman, long swordsman available 1 age early. You know what I'm about to say here. Not useful in a late game situation. Useful in Ice's world. Not useful in Laiki's world. Teal's world, right? I think Laiki's probably, he's already in the Imperial Age. He's probably massing up a super economy, and having the infantry available in age early just doesn't do anything. So that's where I stand on the Athenians. Let me see. Doomed World, playing as Carthaginians. We've already talked about them. We have, let's see, Ice and, okay, Ice is playing as Athenians. We've talked about them. Let's go back up here. Everyone else, by the way, to my knowledge, so far, no other action takes place on the map. And just as I say that, ooh, we have Cristo Rey, who's gotten out the Heavy Siege Onager. This is the Rome at War version of the Trebuchet. So he is starting an attack on a fort. He's got prefects out. And he's got short swordsmen and a couple of scorpions up against spearmen and hoplites. Now, the hoplite is the Athenian unique unit. And let me pull that up here real quick. The Athenian unique unit, the hoplite, it is a unique armored infantry, extremely effective against cavalry. So this is a super spearman. Strong versus cav, as well as infantry, weak versus archers at long range. So the hoplite, an all-around strong unit, good against infantry, good against cav. They will go down to the scorpions, but not before all the knights die. So that's a nice situation for them to be in. Kind of a slow-going battle so far. And everyone else is taking a rather peaceable approach. And we can see, looking at the economy, if I flip the script here, look at the villager count. Most players are up in the triple digits. 124, 120, 156, 136, 136. We only have 3 players who are on the lower end here. We have Cristo Rey in the yellow, who only has 33 vills. We have Doomed World with 78 vills, and Viscol II with 70 vills. Now, that's not the end of the world for these players. If this were a one-on-one situation, I would be sweating for them. And certainly you do want a very strong economy. So those are numbers you want to pick up. But if you manage the diplomacy game well, as we see the whole eco moving, what's going on here? What's the game plan? But we see that it's not just about having a strong economy or even a strong military. If you play your diplomatic cards right, you can be the weaker player and still win. Like, let's say it came down to Doomed World, Conqueror, and BP Dredge. Right? If there were those three left, I don't know whether it is or not. I don't remember. But if it came down to those three, looking at the eco, well, yeah, this is 120, 120 versus 80, but if Conqueror and Natsumi spend all of their resources fighting each other and you're able to sit back and use your diplomatic skills well, you can pull off a win, even with a weaker economy or a weaker military. That's the beautiful thing, and my goodness, here we go. A surprise attack from BP Dredge as the Macedonians. Cav Archers versus the Argiraspide, the Macedonian unique unit, which again is a spearman with increased attack range. So this is a Kamayuk style unit. And the Cav Archers, I don't know, he's not using the micro, he's focused in on, there we go, now he's running away, but I don't know, these siege ramps are looking awfully convincing. Castle goes down. We've got to figure out, let's go to Purple's view here. Viscal, where oh where is your king? Here he is, the Emperor is in the town center. Cav Archers trying to do what they can. Oh, and from the north, the Athenians have joined in with the Macedonians to take out the new Civ, the Armenians. Oh, here we go. Here's the king. Running away, trying to get to that castle, but that's a castle. Will not stand up. And oh no! Laiki, the Athenian, getting the first kill of the game. And Conqueror calls the GG on behalf of Viscal II. Good job, man. Well done, thanks for playing, but it was a 2-on-1 situation. Got sandwiched, and now the spoils must be divvied up between these two players. So we still have, and that's the beautiful thing about knocking out an opponent early. We still have quite a bit of gold, quite a bit of stone, resources. It'll be interesting to see how these two players divvy it up, and to see whether they can stay at peace, or if this will lead to conflict between the two conquerors. Meanwhile, oh, we missed it over here. Ice, at the same time, sending in a huge army of hoplites, while simultaneously, Natsumi Schwartz as the Spartans. So we have an Athenian-Spartan alliance here, taking out the Roman Empire. Today, the Greeks emerge victorious over the Romans. And that's a strong combination. Skirmishers to the left, alongside the Hippeus, which is the Spartan unique unit. The hoplites to the right. And it looks like these two are going to stay allied. They're not immediately declaring war on each other. Yeah, I don't see either player declaring war. And so far, Conqueror, Doomed World, I'm not aware of any conflict going on between them. Take a look at this, the Kothon. We'll talk about the Kothon in a second. Things going pretty well for them. Likewise, no conflict between Athens and Athens up in the top corner here. Treb's out. You know the nice thing about the Heavy Siege Onager? I don't know if they've been weakened at all to compensate for this, but the Heavy Siege Onager does not need to unpack and pack. It can just roll up and start doing its business. It's pretty great. Now, one of the things I got to appreciate this. Ice is already marking the line of demarcation. Like, okay, you know what? Natsumi, you could take everything to the left of this wall. I'm taking everything to the right. It reminds me of Spain and Portugal in the era of colonization and the line of demarcation splitting up South America. That's what I feel like right here. We've got Ice taking over this territory to the right, Natsumi taking over the territory to the left. Strong walls make strong neighbors, or so it's said, and we'll have to see whether that's true or whether these guys break out into conflict as soon as the wall goes up. I think right now, the world has fallen back into an era of peace. We're now transitioning into a late game situation. Only 6 players remain. Doomed, Conk, y'all want to go for Likey? BP Dre says, and again, I apologize one more time, Teal, if I am mispronouncing your name. But for this video, you are Likey. I know I'm going to comment. Actually, it's pronounced like this, but... Conqueror says, okay, so blue, and sure enough, remember, you know, this is like World War II. You know, you have Germany and Russia. Nazi Germany, Communist Russia. They both team up to take out Poland. And then after that happens, you got these 2 conquering states looking at each other and going, you know, I probably ought to do something about this other guy. That's what's happened here. Not to say that these guys are villains, but we got 2 conquerors here. And now that the battle is done, we've got Dredge saying, hey, you know, I don't know that I like this neighbor on my doorsteps. Athens, he's kind of a little bit of a troublemaker. I might want to deal with him. So he's trying to get some allies on his side. I love the use of the diplomacy. He's reaching out saying, hey, Conqueror Natsumi, do you want to take out Likey? And Conqueror's saying, I don't know, I'm pretty far away. Staying focused on that diplomatic end, I think Conqueror is recognizing... I believe I've already mentioned this, but the balancing act in diplomacy games. You don't want to be too passive, but you also don't want to pull the trigger and be too aggressive too early. Doomed World with a great reference to, yeah, I believe, yeah, the Carthaginians, the Council of 104, yeah. That's a great reference to the oligarchy of Carthage. Someone knows their history, or they're making a reference to unique tech, either way. Yeah, Conqueror comes back with, but you picked Mega Shipyard Engineering. That's a perfect segue to talk about the unique tech. So let's go back and look at these civs again, focusing in on their unique techs, and then maybe we can comment one more time about how great the civs should be in this late game post-imperial situation. As we see that the Conqueror is floating 15,000 wood. And as we flip through the players, I would imagine most players are in this situation where they've got thousands of every resource on the map. Right? So this is going to be a long game. I mean, we're not ending this anytime soon, right?
Yes.
Carthage's unique techs. And remember, in Rome at War, you're given 2 possible options in each age, and you get to decide which one you want. You've got War Mahouts, giving War Elephants 25% faster attack and 25% trample area. And you have Mercenary Corps, which gives the Amazigan, the Balearic Slingers, and the Kaitrati. Those are the unique units of the Numidians, the Iberians, and the Phoenicians, if I'm remembering correctly. Those 3 civilizations' unique units suddenly become available to train in your town centers. And TCs are even easier to mass than castles, right? So that's, by the way, I love those bonuses. Those are great references to Carthage's history, the relationships they had to those different civilizations, whether you're talking about the First Punic War or the Second Punic War, the history of Carthage. So that's a really cool option to have access to those unique units. If you want to mass up the War Elephant, I've already mentioned just how powerful the War Elephant is. I really like War Mahouts as an option. Making sure they can go both faster and do more damage. I like War Mahouts, I think, even more than Mercenary Corps here. I think Mercenary Corps might make sense in a one-on-one situation, or a world where you wouldn't want to mass up War Elephants, but if you can mass up War Elephants, it's in a game like this, where you're able to float bagillions of resources. And then in the Imperial Age, you've got Council of 104 and Mega Shipyard Engineering. The Council of 104 gives your Spearmen, Cavalrymen +4 melee armor, and then Mega Shipyard Engineering. Kothons can now be constructed. Now the Kothon, we saw them earlier. These are really powerful super docks. They have some unique technologies associated with them. In fact, I can go ahead and pull up those texts real quick. I'm going to go over to the Carthaginians. And I will have a link in the description below, by the way, for the romeatwar.org tech tree. So you can find that in the description. But if we pull up the Carthaginians, we see they've got some unique techs. Kothons will heal ships even faster. So that's one of the default features of the Kothon. It heals ships. You can pick up tech, make it heal even faster. without having to divert villagers to doing that. The Kothon work rate increased by 50%, so it works even faster. Not to mention, Kothons by default train naval units in bulk. All right, so you train ships 4 at a time, if I remember right. And now you'll also train them 50% faster on top of that. The expanded docking bays, Kothons take up pop space like a Feitoria. They cost 20 pop by default, but you can bring that down to 10 with this tech. And finally, support vessels. Kothons also increase the speed of nearby warships by 15%. So, some interesting technologies. And if we get into a situation, let's say that it's a land battle for most of the war so far, and then all of a sudden, like here we have Spartan, the Natsumi, the Spartan player. He's the only one really with the naval power right now. Let's say he starts attacking. Look at this, by the way. Look at the shared wall. There is a Carthaginian alliance here. The Conqueror and Doomed World trust each other, at least enough that Doomed World feels no need to keep Carthage out of his walls. Interesting that, okay, both players also have units. Okay, they both have triremes in there. All right, so there's some naval power here. But let's say that Natsumi was the only one attacking. So he's got a naval force. He comes in, he starts attacking. The Kothons are really good for catching up to a player that is ahead. Speaking of which, BP Dredge with the Tessera Conteres, very nice. This will be very useful if Blue wants to send an army to go to war. I am a little surprised he's revealing that he has these ships. If I am Conqueror, I see this and go, okay, wait a minute. I maybe need to throw some castles down, or I need to be ready for what could come from... Not to say that he can tell that there isn't anything in these units right now, but I need to be ready that he could send his entire army over in these 3 ships. So be ready for a massive D-Day style naval invasion. And I cannot promise that will be my last historical reference. I'm all about history. I jump all over the place. I love it. Hopefully that's part of what you signed up for when you watch an Iron Kaiser gaming video. You just gotta have to love, you know, random historical facts that you can make references to in an AoE video. Like he says, booming, try not die. I hope you finished booming by now. Is that a threat, Likey? Are you pushing the Conqueror into the arms of BP Dredge? Or are you just making a fun joke? Who knows? But again, everything's kind of peacetime. So, talk about the unique techs again. I would go with War Elephants, and I actually think the Kothon is a really cool building. I understand wanting to put it in, and I'm happy they picked it from a video, YouTube content point of view, because we get to see this cool new building, and we get to see, you know, some of the unique ships that can come out of that. I believe there are some unique buildings, naval units. I might be wrong about that. But I think there's some naval units that are only available in the Kothon as well. Oh my goodness, and Doomed World did not realize the Kothon built some batches and is deleting his navy. Well, or most of it anyway. He's got a few left. But I think with that move right there, Natsumi is the undisputed master of the seas right now. Which, okay, at this point, almost all of the fish have been mined out of the map. They're gone. So that part of the naval supremacy is no longer useful, right? But that does mean if we actually see a battle in the waves, Natsumi's in a decent place. The Kothons might swing the battle. Like you talking to someone saying, you hoping to snipe someone. Like he's trying to figure out, like, oh, okay, let me reach out to an ally, and I don't know who he's talking to. I can't see that. Conqueror says no petards, so not particularly. I think he's talking to green here. So blue is reaching out to green, now teal's reaching out to green. Do you want to fight somebody? Conqueror's saying, not really. I kind of am content to sit back. Doomed World saying, it looks like Athens and Sparta are going to start fighting soon. The Spartans and the Athenians right here. Red's army seems very out of position. Yeah, let's take a look at that. So we got red up here. That is a lot of units, but... Okay, the frozen one. So it does. Conqueror saying, hey, wait a minute. Yeah, sure enough. Red's army all the way up here, poised to attack blue. And you see, you can feel the tension. You could cut it with a knife. In fact, here's the marker of the knife right here. The knife came through and it carved a hole in the earth, a clean break right here. And so the armies are ready to fight each other, and Teal's doing his best to get green to start licking his chops and say, hey, wait a minute. I go in and fight this. I see what you mean. I'll see what I can do. Conqueror being very non-committal. All right, I see it. I notice it. Maybe. Who knows? We'll see. One of the things I find fascinating, I don't know whether you can do anything about this without maybe giving away the game, but I love how blue and teal seem to be plotting against each other, or blue at least is plotting against teal. But both players, at least teal is using his trade market to trade with blue, and blue's allowing it. So teal is actually enriching himself off of blue, even as blue is worried about what teal could do. Alright, so I actually think, as great as the Kothons are, let me come back to this real quick. As great as the Kothons are, I actually think the Council of 104 makes more sense here. Especially if this becomes a land battle. I think, let's say that it goes into a trash war. Well, your spearmen having +4 melee armor means you win spear versus spear fights, right? Now, as the Carthaginians, you don't get access to the final upgrade, the auxiliary spearman upgrade. But even so, with 4 melee armor, I've got to imagine that you are the winner in a melee versus melee fight, spear versus spear. Now, that probably means that you're weaker against skirms, I'm guessing, but that's a really strong one. And if you decide to go knights, then you got to choose. Whoa, wait a minute. BP Dredge saying ready to hit yet. Blue wants to do something, and red is laughing. I don't know if they're talking to each other. I think blue might be trying to get red to fight black. Whoa. I'm sorry. Teal paid me, Conqueror says. The Carthaginian has gone mercenary, and elite war elephants are in red's base. Now, if I were green, I would be messaging black right away and saying, hey, by the way, I'm engaging. I'm fighting red. Just FYI, you might be interested in knowing that. And then if black has any sense, Ice would say, okay, yeah, I need to move in now while red is distracted. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, and red. I wish we could see pop-ups here on the screen, but it looks like red has actually paid green back. Red says gray turned on me. Oh, what do we have here? We have... No, everyone's allies. What do you mean gray turned on you? By gray, I assume he means black or gray here. Number 7, right? Ice. Ice turned on me. Ice has declared war. The battle has begun. Now, why on earth? Oh, that's because I'm on Conqueror's point of view. All right, here we go. So we have Doomed World and Ice are enemies. But I don't think we need to worry about Doomed World right now. It's all about red versus black. Capped Rams and Spearmen. Which you got to remember, by the way. You see Spearmen and we think, oh, Feudal Age units, they're weak. But in Roma ad Bellum, this is actually the Castle Age version of the Spearmen. So this is functionally pikemen, even though they look like Spearmen. So, black comes in and, oh no, it looks like red's army is primarily cav with a contingent of skirmishers. Oh, that's not good. The hoplites with all that pierce armor going to come in and just knock out the skirms. They knocked out the cav. They're pushing in to take out the heavy siege onager. Wow, the battle is on. Green says, can't easily get to him. Okay, I'm going to go around the far side towards teal on my way. I'm sorry, what? Now, I don't want to move from the action here. Gray is winning, but we got to keep an eye on the minimap and see if green is moving towards teal. As teal has moved around to engage in the fight, red has been chosen by the council as the next to fall. That's not to say red will go down. What red should be doing, because he's getting double teamed, right? He needs to be in the diplomacy menu, reaching out to as many people as possible. He should be reaching out to blue, saying, hey, teal's attacking me. Now's your moment. Go get him. He should be reaching out to green, saying, listen, I need if I fall, Likey becomes unstoppable or something. You just say whatever you have to do, whoever, to try to get people on your side, get allies. Because you will go down, especially with you have black bringing in a melee composition, teal with an archer composition. They cover each other very well. You're in trouble. Castle falls for red. Now the good news for red, he does have an awful lot of production buildings. That's great. The bad news is he's practically out of gold. It is all, Conqueror saying sniping red. Green has put his sword to red's throat. Et tu, Conqueror. Then fall, Natsumi Schwartz. He is in trouble. All right, here we go. Is this the castle? No, not that one. Where, oh where, is the Emperor? Let's see if we can find him. This does tell me, by the way, green has actually not moving around to teal right now. So, but it does indicate what perhaps Conqueror's plan is later, if he survives this engagement, as he is likely to do so. Here we go. Here is the fort with the Emperor inside. The northern flank is falling. The southern, he's getting cored out by the Carthaginian. The Spartans are falling. Yeah, and at this point, I don't see how. I mean, I'll give Natsumi credit. He's got 78 bills, nearly 80 bills right now, which, if they would stop, if everybody would just peace out, he could rebuild from that. But I'm not sure that's. I don't think this is going to work for him. Now, Natsumi is the only Spartan player, so really quickly, let me look at the unique text. In the Castle Age, or the Middle Antiquity Age, we have Makai. Infantry take no bonus damage of any kind. And the Skeuphoroi, Hippeus move 50% faster. Both of these are infantry options, and you'll notice the Spartans, they're all about infantry. That can be really useful in certain situations. If it were a post-imperial spear versus spear situation, a lot of these bonuses would be nice. Faster attacking infantry that take no bonus damage, so spears are not taking bonus damage against skirmishers, right? That'd be pretty nice. But to a certain extent, I think Roma ad Bellum is not that different from the default AoE meta, which is infantry are going to have a harder time than archers or cav. I think archer comps, cav comps still make more sense, or they're probably easier to pull off than infantry civs. So I don't know that Sparta. You sort of have to massage the battlefield to get into that situation where you can go all in on infantry. You can't just text straight swordsman and expect to win, right? So I think both of these unique texts, a little bit tough. I don't know that either one is that useful, especially not in the Middle Antiquity Age. Probably massing up Hippeus makes sense because they're a very strong unit, so giving them move speed is nice. That might be worthwhile. And then in the Imperial Age, Cryptia, infantry deal 33% more bonus damage, or the Peloponnesian League, polyremes deal +4 attack. If it becomes a naval warfare battle, giving your polyremes +4 attack is really nice. Every single ship having 4 more attack is good, but the question is, how critical will the Navy actually be? If everyone ignores the water, then obviously Cryptia is the better choice. But what that means is Sparta is all about infantry, other than the skirmishers. You got a skirmisher bonus and some water bonuses, but otherwise it's all in infantry. Here we go. Wait a minute. Yeah, there he is. Here's the Emperor. And I don't know whether Natsumi is sending him on purpose to his death, or whether the waypoint was set outside. That's probably what's happening here. And to his credit, the Emperor is holding on for a while. Oh, but here come the spearmen. He goes down, and with with that, Natsumi Schwartz, Sparta. Leonidas is dead, and with him, his empire falls. That brings us down to 5. Okay, 5 players left. Natsumi, again, at the strongest navy, so he's out of the picture. At this point, it's probably Doomed World who has the strongest navy, but I, for one, am keeping eyes on those Tesseracontes, wherever they are. There they are. I want to keep an eye on them because you could do some serious damage with those guys. Because, you know, it's like if Dredge is cunning and he loads up his army in the transport ships and unloads the army into an enemy's base before declaring war, it doesn't matter how big your opponent's navy is. They can't do anything about it anymore. The landing's already taken place. So, real quick, you know what? A moment of silence for our fallen comrades. Let's take a look at the Armenian civilization real quick and look at their unique text. Legionaries enabled at the barracks. Legionaries require 50% less pop space. This is kind of cool. The legionaries are by default only available to the Roman civs. The Armenians get access to them with Civitates Foederatae. Anyway, sorry, getting lost in my Latin there. But the legionaries are unlocked for the Armenians, and they cost 50% less pop space, which is really nice. The legionaries are a very good unique unit. Oh, wait a minute. We got a moment right here. I'm sorry, we got to talk about this. BP Dredge deciding to throw down a wonder in the corner of the map behind layers of fortified walls. And everyone's talking about, is Wonder Victory even enabled? And no one's really sure. If Wonder Victory is enabled, then BP Dredge is putting the crown on his head and giving everyone else a time limit. You take me out in a certain amount of time or I win this thing. All right, he's going for the win right here. If Wonder Victory is not enabled, then this is just a fun, cute waste of resources and makes for a very pretty building. So everyone's saying, I don't think so. I don't really think this is going to do anything. So we'll have to keep an eye on that, okay? All right, so with the Armenians, Legionaries are really nice. On the flip side, you've got Spearmen and Scout Cav requiring 25% less pop space. I like Marzipanite even better in a post-Imperial situation. You're massing up Spears, massing up Scout Cav. Being able to mass up more, because I think pop space is the ultimate choke point. And so being able to have more like that gives the Armenians a huge advantage. I prefer that unique tech. And I think it's a very good one for this map. And this situation. In the Imperial Age, Kvarena, Irudzi and Cav Archers cost 50% less gold per garrison relic. If you got the relics, I love that. Baptism, Temple slowly here, kneel by cavalry. That's not a bad one. I like it. I like Kvarena even better. And look at this. We have the Lighthouse of Alexandria, if I'm not mistaken. That is has been built here. Wonder Victory is enabled. It never goes, oh no, it's on. Never mind, target blue. And this is the most dramatic moment of the game so far. And Dredge, I think, he's rolling dice. All right, because on the one hand, at this point, there's still 5 players alive. This is where diplomacy is at its most critical. You're trying to build those alliances and those enemies, and if you are doing what Dredge is doing here, and you're going for the win, right? You're putting a target on your back. You're the only one who's going to win with a Wonder. You can't take any allies with you. So what you're saying is everyone is now going to attack you. Everyone else allies against you. It's 4v1 right now. Maybe not literally, as we see with Lecky here, moving his archers behind the lines. But he's got to know. Everybody is going to be targeting him because everyone wants to win. So I really don't like the timing of this Wonder. I would have much rather waited until, you know, if I were Dredge, try to get everyone to attack Lecky. Try to get down to 4 players or even 3 players and then go for the Wonder. No one else is even thinking about it. So I don't like it from the diplomatic side of things. On the flip side, Dredge does have fortified walls and loads of castles, right? So It looks pretty good from that point of view. And seeing as he is the man of the hour, let's go ahead and look at the Macedonian unique text. I don't remember if we've talked about them already or not. Heteroi, stable units have 20 HP. That includes Scout Cav. Cavalrymen are immune to conversion. Or Pezzetoroi, infantry have 20 HP. Agiraspides are immune to conversion. So, infantry or Cav, pick one. They get more HP and they can't be converted. Maybe I'm biased about this, but whenever, again, when I think about these 8-player free-for-all games, if you're going to be one of the winners, you are ending up in a post-Imperial slog situation, most likely. So which do you value more? Spearmen with more HP or scouts with more HP? Yes, you know, knights will benefit from this and swordsmen will benefit from this, but I think most important is that other aspect. You know what? I don't like these castles here. I don't like the castles here because, you know, yeah, they're useful in stopping an army from, like, coming in here and then declaring war. What he should have done is just declared war on everybody right out of the gate, because that's going to happen anyway. And better to have them outside of the walls than inside. Right. Right now, in fact, we do see he has declared war like he is an enemy. Everyone else is still an ally, so he's only dealing with heal right now. Yeah, so in the short term, these back castles will help just obliterate Lyke's archer. I don't know what Lyke is doing here. He's throwing away his archer army. That's a lot of gold down the drain for, what, a couple of hits on some forts? It's not really doing a lot there. But, on the flip side, if he pushes them out and now he wants to defend the castles, I want forts out this way. I want as many layers of defenses as possible to keep an army from ever getting near the lighthouse. Alright, so, and then we got an Imperial Age for the Macedonians. Combined arms tactics, siege units move faster, like a Hun-style bonus, or the Diadokai. Slightly weaker elite immortals, elite Medjay warriors, and elite hoplites can be trained at the town center. So, again, more unique units that you can pick up from the Egyptians, the Persians, and the hoplites. I believe, again, that's the Athenian unique unit, if I'm not mistaken. So, references to the breakup of Alexander's empire and the strength of it. Okay, here we go. We've got Doomed World moving in. Doing a lot of eco damage here to blue. Like he's saying, he has many castles. You don't say. This is going to be a siege for the ages. Conqueror, he's shown up with cav and archers, right? He's got, what is that, crossbowmen, auxiliary cavalry. All right, so scouts and archers here. And crossbowmen in this mod, if I'm not mistaken, they are functionally somewhat similar to hand cannons, actually. So they're not the crossbows we tend to think of. Those would be improved bowmen. Alright, the attack begins. We've got Teal on walls, we've got Carthage on walls, and then from the other side, we have the Carthaginians moving in to attack their Macedonian foes. And meanwhile, up here, we actually have an army from blue taking on ice. So we have two different battles to watch here. We have a 3-on-1 up here and a surprise attack from Dredge on ice. Now that will keep ice out of the battle for the Wonder. I think this is smart. I really like this play, especially because there's only so much battering rams can do back at home. So if you already built these units, use them to just take ice out of the fight and stall for as long as possible. Yes, you are losing eco everywhere. If this game were going to last forever, Dredge is dead, right? But that's not how this game is going to work. Dredge is going all in on surviving just long enough to keep the Wonder alive. Win this game from a Wonder victory. Now let's take a look real quick. Let's see if we can find Ice's his Emperor. And just see if there's a threat on the life of the Athenian Emperor. And that is not him. That's Vil. And that is not an Empress. That's just a regular old Vil. All right, where, oh, where? I'm not even sure right now.
Yes.
Huh. Those are town centers? No, those are markets. So, I mean, Ice is getting hit pretty bad. Let's go back over here, though. This is definitely the moment. Athens, he is behind you. Yeah, so Ice is like what? There's kind of a military not really doing. Ice was defeated! Oh my goodness. So Dredge gets the kill on Ice, and he's turned this into a 1v3. We're down to 4 opponents. Half of the field has been eliminated. The question right now is, can they break through? Can they destroy all of these forts? Can they destroy the fortified walls? Can they get to the castle with less than 200 years on the clock? The scary thing is, and I believe, yeah, here's Conqueror saying exactly this, we need siege. Here comes Lyke, the Athenian player, with heavy siege onager. I think he's the only one. He's got siege onager, he's got Cap Ram. So he's gonna be putting on critical anti-building pressure. But he's the only one. I think Orange had a couple of onagers. There's this one heavy siege onager. Okay, but... And here's Green. Here's Green. He's got siege onagers and... Yeah, actually that's all. So, not really a lot that they can do against castles. This is tough. This is tough. Really quick, because I think that was the last... Yeah, Ice was the last Athenian. No. Lyke's still in this. So let's go to Lyke's point of view. And let's talk Imasican aren't a good choice. Too weak. I wonder whether he means weak in general. Let's see. Only good against Vills, so they're kind of a good raider unit, I guess. Okay. Which right now you don't want to be raiding. They may be trying to find the Emperor. Which, Dredge, is this him? Nope, this is just a regular Agirispide. The Emperor is hiding. Let's see, is he over here? No, not back here. Where is he? Here he is in the far corner of the map. And that's good, so that way we're not gonna get a surprise snipe. If Dredge wins this, it's gonna be just holding on. Holding the defense as long as possible. Ouch. He has to preserve his units and just be a distraction and an annoyance. You don't need to kill them all. You just need to stay alive long enough. Blow up these siege. Yes, that is the right choice. Sacrifice your army, take out the siege, and stall for as long as possible. Having said that, again, crossbowmen, they're like hand cannons, and they are putting in work against the Agirispide. They go down. If I were Dredge, and I'm floating 10,000 food, I need to see stables. Infantry are nice, but just get up light cav, move in, bam, 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 bam. Just throw away a couple thousand food in order to just knock out this artillery, keep your castles up. Siege, people, come on, Conqueror is starting to sweat. Let's look at Lyke's point of view real quick, and I want to pull up the unique text for Athens. Solonian reforms. Farmers slowly generate gold in addition to food. I love that tech in a post-Imperial War situation because gold is huge. And if you can, get gold out of your farms, that you're able to build gold units much longer than your opponent, all else being equal. That's a really, really, really nice bonus. Draconian Reforms is nice too, and if you do get into that trash war situation, your Spearmen and Hoplites being able to do more damage is nice. Especially because, do the Athenians... Let me check that real quick. Athenians, they... Okay, they don't get Auxiliary Spearmen, so... They have the AoE 2 version of Pikemen with +3 attack. Which is nice, but I think I like the gold bonus more. And then Athena Parthenos, archery range units, including skirms, fire 25% faster and 1 more pierce armor, or the Delian League, cavalrymen cost 75% less gold. Now, if you picked up Solonian Reforms, go Delian League. You got more gold, and now you can use that gold to get more cav, more knights, right? I really like that bonus. But if you go Draconian Reforms, pick up Arthena Parthenos. Because at this point, you're investing in just the trash war anyway. Spearmen having more attack means invest in your skirmishers at the same time. So your skirms, you'll fire faster and have more pierce armor. Your spearmen do more attack damage. You become a trash war powerhouse. I really like Athens for this sort of battle. You can see the attack, the assault has stalled. We're down to 100 years, and the Lighthouse of Alexandria is still standing. Got a couple of capped rams on the field here from Orange. And what is that? That's one heavy siege onager. Teal. Going in and look. Wow. Look at all the siege ram. Blue. Are you? Oh, no, now you're only down to 3,800 food. So, yeah, not a lot of food in the bank. I mean, I say not a lot. That's still 3,800 food. But he's got no bills on food. He has actually no bills at all. He's all in military, and the Agiraspide will do well against the Cav, so it's working out for him here. But I'm not worried about Cav, I'm worried about the artillery, yeah, the siege. I think that the Cav just died to the forts. Conqueror sweating here. You can feel the tension in the text. Kill the Wonder. Knock this thing out. We don't have time, guys. I don't care that he's got one villager. I don't care that he's got no gold. He's going to win the game as long as that Wonder stands up. If we look at... Let me see again. I think we've talked about the Conqueror. We've talked about Carthaginians. Yeah. And Doomed World, also playing against the Carthaginians. We've talked about them as well. So at this point, I think we've talked about all of the surviving Cid. Now, have we talked about Cristo Rey's Rome? The Siege Ballistae. Scorpions have +2 range and no minimum range. Now, as of this recording, a patch has come out that has changed that a little bit. The new unique tech is Scorpions have +1 range, and they fire just a teeny tiny bit slower. But I think there's also, is there a smaller bonus for that as well? Let me double check that. I don't want to tell you guys wrong, so let me actually find that out here. Let me see. Pull up my handy dandy chart. Actually, I can go to the Roman War website. So we see a massive push come in. Here is Athens. If the game is going to be saved for the Alliance against BP Dredge, it's going to happen right here. It's going to be because of Athens. If BP Dredge loses, it is because of Lyking. All in capped ram. Does BP Dredge have the army to push this back? Agiraspide and Champions. They're good units. Are they enough? Oh no. Oh no, and here comes the reinforcements of the Heavy Siege Onager to Doomed World. The Trebs are out, knocking down these forts, and behind that, dozens of elite war elephants, which again, hit even harder than what we see in AoE 2. So these bad boys are a beast. There are 50 of them on the field. That's a lot of gold. That's a lot of food. And at this point, this castle's going to go down, and there is a straight shot to the Wonder with only 30 years left on the clock. They have to move now. They are moving now. You know, with as desperately as Conqueror has been typing into chat, guys, kill the Wonder, kill the Wonder, kill the Wonder, kill the Wonder. You know, with all of that going on, he is not going to waste any time moving his entire army to the Lighthouse, taking BP Dredge out of this game. It took too long. Yeah, and I dare say, again, if he had taken 2 of these castles and put them, again, kind of here in the middle, like I was talking about earlier, that may have made the difference. Because we're down to only 17 years, and the castle goes down, or the Wonder goes down. Dredge is functionally out of this game. And right here, yeah, Dredge calls the GG. He could, if he wanted to, try to... Nice. Very well done. If Conqueror wanted to, or if Dredge wanted to, he could have tried some diplomacy, and maybe pledged himself to somebody else and tried to get back in the game that way, but he has no bills. He has no economy. He is a beggar at this point. He threw all in on the Wonder, nearly had it, and I've got to applaud the guts. Going for the Wonder, bringing the entire world to your doorstep, and nearly winning, right? That's pretty great. But Dredge is out, and now we are down to 3. So let's look at the situation here now. Vill counts. Okay, we have 36 Vills for Conqueror, 89 Vills for Lyki, and 66 Vills for Doomed World. So they had been booming up to massive numbers. Triple digits, 100, 120 Vills. I think at one point there's 160 Vills out for one player. But now, oh, look at this. Well, no, I'm sorry. So the last vestiges of, like he's saying, friends to the end. To who? Who's he talking to? Because at this point, when you're down to 3, this is the scary part, because it's probably going to turn into a 2v1. And you're jockeying for position to see who's going to be the one. And therefore, who is the most likely to lose out to a final duel. At this point, if you're orange, it's a little bit scary. Oh, and look at this. Green attacks orange. Orange's army is falling apart here. They're not attacking back, so green is getting a lot of free attacks here. Conqueror living up to his name and obliterating orange's army. Yeah, that's not an emperor, is it? No. Is this an emperor? Sure, if I'm orange, let's go to orange real quick. No, that's not an emperor. Where is the emperor real quick? No. Okay. Yeah, I mean, orange has lost his army, right? Military right here. 54 military. He's got military out on the field somewhere. But I don't see him winning this. Yeah, there's the Emperor. If I'm Doomed World, whose name appears to be very apropos. Doomed World, I thought it would be Carthage versus Athens at the end. Yeah, well, it's gonna be Carthage versus Athens. You're just... Oh, I see what you're saying, the 2v1. Carthage and Carthage teaming up. No. I'm sorry, but much like in history, where Hannibal had a scheme to carve out his own kingdom in Iberia, Conqueror has decided he no longer needs the support of mainland Carthage. He doesn't need Doomed World's Carthage. He wants Doomed World to live up to his name and be the third to fall. And Athens is only all too happy to oblige Conqueror's ambitions and make this a 2v2 game. If I were Doomed World, I would be desperately trying diplomacy here. I would be reaching out to Lyki and say, listen, but attack Conqueror now because he's not expecting it. You'll do more damage while he's still distracted by us. You know it's going to be a 1v1 anyway, so help me out, and that's your best shot. You've got to try to turn this into a free-for-all, or even maybe get Lyki on your side. I'm weak. If you beat Conqueror now, you know you're going to win the 1v1, right? So just join me and fight off Conqueror. You've got to wage that diplomatic war. But right now, if you're Doomed World, you are doomed. I mean, I don't see how you fight back against how many dozens of Cap Rams, or how many dozens of elite war elephants are there here, backed up by scorpions, by the way. Disgusting. That's a powerhouse composition. And again, here's the Emperor. We're gonna keep eyes on this, but yeah, what is that? Was it a Baylor slinger right there? Yeah, let's see. That guy's not gonna stop anything. What in the world? Why are they just standing there? Are they on stand ground? Or have they not even declared like, I guess you don't want everything I banked. Now, is he going to actually send that all? He's got an awful lot of food. And he's researching. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, he's researching. No, it's not going to be enough time. You're going to lose your Emperor. Did he make it out? Am I blind? Where's the Emperor? There he is right there. Okay, he's escaped the far corner of the map. He's trying to survive just long enough to spike Conqueror, I'm assuming, by sending all of his resources to Lyki. Oh, I just want you to kill him, he says. Let's see who he sends the resources to. I'm assuming it'll pop up on the side here. Let me pull up real quick. Lyki has 70,000 food right now. If we see Lyki's resources jump up to 100,000 food, well, then we know. At this point, yeah, we've got. Oh, look at that! That's all the gold. You're sending Lyki 6,000 wood, 6,500 food, 3,200 gold. So yeah, he has. Yeah, Doomworld is defeated. I am surprised he only sent. Why didn't he send all of the food? I mean, when you've got 70,000 food, you're definitely not hurting for food, but even so. Here we go. Now we've got the final battle. Conqueror versus Lyki. Carthage versus Athens for all the marbles. No more diplomatic tricks. No more surprises. It is now a late game 1v1 brawl. And boy, if I'm Lyki, I'm scared, okay? You are dealing with, let's get some numbers here. 58 elite war elephants and 46 heavy scorpions. That's insane. Remember when you asked about my plan, Conqueror? Ooh, is this a little bit of trash talk here? Is this the megalomania coming out? The Conquerors, you know, giving the villain speech before this was it all along, you know. No one can stop me now. Mwah. But yeah, I mean, this composition is insane. Each and every one of these units is a powerhouse, let alone 60 elephants, and then scorpions. If you got 3 or 4 scorpions, they don't really do a lot. But once you mass them up, they can be near impossible to stop. Watch this. Take a look at this. Look at the host of Lycat here. They're gone. All right, and they tickled one of the scorpions, and I think maybe scratched the nose of one of the war elephants there. That's it. If you are Lyki, if I was Lyki, I would be scared out of my mind. What do you build against this? The way I see it, oh, and we actually have, look at, here's Conqueror. Yeah, I really do like, I appreciate the pressure that Lyki's trying to bring in here. I think the Knights will ultimately make pretty short work with the Cap Rams, but being able to put on this side pressure, try to do anything to distract. Buy yourself some more time. That's good. But dealing with this, you have to deal with this, right? And I think you've only got 2 options. Either you go all in on trash, you just throw waves and waves and waves, and try to wear down your opponent with waves of trash. Because as devastating as these war elephants are, if you were to get up enough masses of pikemen, auxiliary pikemen, and go to war against these war elephants, eventually you could wear them out. And the scorpions will counter spearmen hard. But if you get enough light cav, you swing around, you hit them, maybe you get there. The other option that is available for you is you could try to go heavy, 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 all in, into Siege Onager. Maybe with some pikemen as kind of a backline, right? You use the siege onagers, you do a lot of damage to the mass of war elephants. Even though they've got 600 HP, enough siege onagers will put a dent in them, and they are absolutely devastating to heavy scorpion. If you can mass up enough, then you've got a chance. I think that's your best choice. Maybe if you get in a contingent of monks, and you're able to get some nice conversions off. You know, get 15 monks and convert 15 war elephants. That's pretty big. That's a pretty big swing. Just making note, by the way. We see, ooh, and look at this. Siege workshops being constructed to the north of the former Spartan lands in the husk of Natsumi Schwartz's base. Like he may be planning an attack from the north. And just look at this point. So here's all the good news for there is some good news. A, like he has resources. He doesn't just have the food. He's got 30,000 gold. Green, he's got 1,100 gold. Right, so as devastating as this is, if Conqueror loses these resources, if he loses this army, it's going to be very tough for him to replace this, and he's going to have to fall back on trash. He's only got a little bit of gold, and he's not trickling anything in. No relics, which, by the way, 2 relics right here, so, you know, just saying. Has no relics, not trickling any resources, so he's got to go into trash. And Likey, in contrast, has a lot of resources. The other thing is he has 75 vills compared to Conqueror's 29. Now, you can read that 2 ways. In a way, it's kind of a good thing, because, hey, stronger eco. On the flip side, you don't really need stronger eco. You're fine on eco. What he should do, delete those 75 vills in order to clear up room for more army, because what you need are masses of trash. You need numbers more than anything. Delete the vills, get out the army, and then if you need to, you know, once you've blown up this force, turn around and you can rebuild your eco if you want. Right? Yeah, I mean, any units you're throwing into this mass of elephants, they're dead. Right? But with every wave, I think we've got 1 elephant here on 3 HP. Let's see, do we even see any dead? So far, I don't think we have any dead elephants. But we're getting there. You know, we're getting to where, all right, a few dead. Ooh, look at this, wait a minute. As this slow, seemingly inevitable push is taking place from green, we've got to keep eyes on what's happening with teal at the same time. We have Cap Ramp moving it and trying to get a snipe on green. Now, is green snipeable? Where, oh where, as we switch to Conqueror's point of view. Yeah, here comes siege from the north, and we've got attacks from the south as well. There's the Emperor right there in the middle of the base, not that far from Likey's southern assault. But now if we take a look at Likey's base, where are we at here? Okay, where is the Emperor? All right, good news. I'm pretty sure the Emperor is pretty far away from the attack. Look at that, 4 relics. So, long term, a nice situation for Likey, as long as he can hold against this assault. And there's the Emperor right there in the back, so not in as imminent a danger. But these lands that used to be Vissel II, he may have been the first to go down, but his territory is now the center stage of the war between the top 2. And look at this. Let's go back to Conqueror's point of view. And he had 58 elephants. He's down to 26. Okay. This is attrition. This is Fabian tactics. If you know your Punic Wars history, you know that Hannibal was not defeated in one grand battle that ended everything. No, Hannibal was defeated in Pyrrhic victory after Pyrrhic victory. He'd go and attack a place and he would win the battle, but Fabian, the general, what's his name, Fabius, I'm forgetting off the top of my head, but the Roman plan of attack eventually became scorched earth. Burn the fields, you know, let Hannibal have his victories, but make him pay for them. And eventually, we'll win out on attrition until we can finally have a decisive battle that will go in our favor, right? The same thing is true here, where I think we're now in a situation where slowly it's starting to look like all of a sudden Carthage is not as dominating as they appeared. The elephants are falling apart. We only have 8 half-health elephants. And here we have 29 scorpions. They are being protected by auxiliary cavalry. That's light cav. So I'm not saying he's falling apart, but the gold horde has fallen, except for the scorpions. Now, does he have a response for the scorpions? I think he does. I think if we switch over to Likey's point of view, now that the elephants are more or less out of the way, we're down to the final few elephants, you can mass up units and get into the scorpions and do damage. And when you have 60,000 food, I kind of don't like that you only have 6,000 wood. That's a little bit scary. And speaking of which, I've got to do this. I got to go back to Doomed World. 3,000 wood. Why didn't you send the if you're gonna send things? Why didn't you go in? I mean, there's your resource to do what you will with, but that 3,000 can make a difference here. Just saying. Likey has the resources: 60,000 food and 25,000 gold. Versus Conqueror at this point, 2,600 gold, 56,000 food, and only 7,000 wood. This may very quickly become scouts versus scouts, right? I mean, because both of them, they're running low on wood. Carthage in particular, running low on gold. But, you know, Likey could, you know, if Likey doesn't play his hand right, he could also lose a lot of gold here. If it became scouts versus scouts, let's say they run out of wood, they run out of gold, who's got the better scouts? All right, well, none of the unique techs help for Carthage. Now don't look at the tech tree here, by the way. Let's look at the tech tree on the website. And if we look at the tech tree on the website for Carthage, they have full armor upgrades. They're missing the final attack upgrade, and they do get the auxiliary cavalry upgrade. The Athenians, in contrast, are missing. Whoa! They're missing the chain barding armor, not to mention the plate barding armor. So the Castle Age or the Middle Antiquity Age armor techs for the cap. And they are missing the auxiliary cavalry. So if it goes scout versus scout, Carthage is the favorite to win there. But on the flip side, I'm thinking when Likey has not only 26,000 gold compared to 2,000, but he's got 4 relics in the back versus Conqueror's. At the time, it was 0. I don't think Conqueror has it. Oh, wait. Whoa, let me go back here. What's happening over here? The siege attack is happening from the north. All in capped ram. And he sent in the cav to die first. We might be here a while, says Likey. Conqueror says, yeah, you're right. Where is the Emperor? Is he still... Nope, not there, he's not. I have 56,000 food, that's right. What you're not telling him is, you have no gold. You have only 8,000 wood. You are in tougher straits than you're letting on, which I don't blame you for. Do you have Hussar, though? Yeah, see, that's true. Conqueror's saying, yeah, man, I've got auxiliary cav. Which, by the way, like I said, that line right there, that makes me feel better about referring to the ages as, like, the Castle Age, the Imperial, well, the Feudal Age, the Castle Age. You know, I feel like if one of the devs of the game uses the old terms, Hussar, instead of the new term, auxiliary cav, I feel like I'm okay, you know, using the occasional vanilla terminology instead of the mod terms. Even though I really like the new terms. I like that they're thematically appropriate. Anyway, where is this Emperor? Oh, there he is right there. Okay. So, lots of easy. We're just going all in scouts, right? All in auxiliary cav. But the Athenian player has the counter. He's got an awful lot of spearmen. And remember, now I don't know, and I can't tell. Draconian Reform, Spearman and Hoplite gain +3 attack. I'm going to guess that because he has the blacksmith upgrades, and I think that right there is the +4. So I'm guessing he did not pick up Solonian Reforms, or Draconian Reforms rather. He probably went Solonian Reforms, which I do think is the better choice, but just saying, the Spearmen don't have that additional +3 attack. Oh my goodness. And here's Natsumi Schwartz getting some revenge from the grave. I'm actually forgetting whether... I think Laiki was one of the ones to take out Natsumi. I know that Laiki helped to take out Cristo Rey. Anyway, the castle comes in, wipes out a bunch of cav right there. War is happening. And at this point, I gotta wonder, oh, here's a naval situation. We have Octeres, which are a great siege option. These are great siege ships. Not really. I just wanted to highlight the water because we haven't talked about it a lot, and I don't think it's being used a lot. But if Teal were to realize that the Emperor's right here on the coast, there's the possibility he could mass up a surprise naval force where Conqueror does not have any awareness that's what's going on, and get a snipe off. That would be legendary. Both players hovering at about 55,000 food. Teal coming in. Trying to get some Vil kills. Trying to just be annoying, be distracting. And at this point, I do have to say, oh wow, wait a minute. Where did all of these scorpions and elephants come from? Round 2. He's only got 780 gold in the bank, but he has spent that gold well. Round 2 of the indomitable Carthaginian assault. Reminiscent of Hannibal Barca himself, we have 31 war elephants, 46 heavy scorpions. Now that is scary, yes, but on the flip side, if I'm Laiki, I've got to be thinking, you know what? I pushed off this composition once, I can do it again. Except, this time, Hannibal is not sending his army across the Alps. No, he appears to want to keep his army in the base. Now, I don't know whether he's trying to just mass up more units, or if his game plan is defense, and if he wants to protect his Emperor from the wave of Athenian units. You know, it may be possible that he's thinking, hey, like he's bleeding his resources dry, he's running out, and all I have to do is maybe withstand an assault, and then I can go on offense. He doesn't know like we do. It's like he's not bragging about it, but he's got 25,000 gold in the bank. Like he is not going anywhere anytime soon. I do have to say, I love how, you know, in this 1v1 battle between Conqueror and Laiki, it appears to be Natsumi Schwartz who's taking the most damage here. Even in death, the Spartan player, you know, is just taking on the damage. Conqueror says, never mind. Wait a minute. Never mind what? Your light cav are better than my Hussar. Why? Because the Athenians, remember, they don't get... Athenians, they...
Yes.
Let's see, I think he explains why in a second. 2 more attack. From what? Oh, is that... Do I have it backwards? Is it... Yeah, the Athenians... Yeah, they had the full blacksmith techs, and then the Carthaginians. That's what it is. What did I say earlier? Did I say the Athenians? Yeah, well, they're missing the armor techs. I actually don't know if it works that way. Yeah, they've got 2 more attack, but they're missing 2 melee armor. And 5 more HP, less armor, though. Okay, yeah. So, the Carthaginian auxiliary cav has 2 more attack. No, they have 2 less attack, but 2 more armor. The Athenian cav has more attack, but less armor. So I think they equal each other out. It's 2 and 2 either way. So I believe they're even. The difference with the upgrades is the auxiliary cav has a little bit less HP because Carthaginians, I think they don't get bloodlines, if I'm not mistaken. I want to double check that, actually. Yeah, well, the Athenians don't get husbandry either. Athenians don't get husbandry, and the Carthaginians do get husbandry. Okay, I'm lost. Then why on earth do the Athenian light cav have more HP than Green's auxiliary cav? It's not a civ bonus. Huh. I'm actually a little lost on that. Either way, the difference is relatively small, but small advantages can snowball. Here we go, and just the remains of the Spartan assault. Whoa. Okay, this is big. Now, what I want to see, I see a lot of onagers. I'm surprised that I'm not seeing more in the way of siege onager and trying to, you know, whittle him down. Uh-oh. Wait a minute. We have the Conqueror, Carthage, building a wonder. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, there we go. Both players going for the BP Dredge tactic. And now that it's one-on-one, who's going to get the wonder up first? Place your bets. We have, let me see real quick here. We have Conqueror. He's at 1,400 HP right now with 33 vills. Teal, Likey, with 2,400 HP with 23 vills. This is neck and neck. The game may very well be decided by who gets their wonder up first. See the little icon here. Both players wanting to go for that wonder victory. Yeah, I don't think the spearman's gonna be that useful. Yep, there he goes. All right. Wow, 3,200 versus. Oh, Green is taking the lead, and I think he's got more vills on the wonder. This is going to be Green's wonder pressure. That wonder will go up first, and if he can hold, Carthage wins. But on the flip side, Teal has a lot of siege and a lot of pressure coming in. A lot of light cav, a lot of siege onager, some elite hoplite. This is a little bit scary. 53, 54 versus, yeah, 42. Yeah, Green has the wonder. The light cav, there's no shot. Like, you're wasting your time taking the vills. There we go. Conqueror has up the wonder. He must hold for 347 years. And if he does, he wins it all. GG, unless you can kill it. He's right. He's right. Does Likey, does Athens have what it takes to push back and destroy? I believe that is the Temple of Artemis, if I'm not mistaken. Which is funny because it's Carthage, but is it the Parthenon? Anyway, doesn't matter. Someone can tell me in the comments below. What do we got? Well, again, we have this very strong composition of elephants and scorpions. 24 gold. Yeah, he's thrown everything he can and the kitchen sink into doing this, right? Into getting this powerful composition up. But even Conqueror here has to be sweating some bullets seeing all of these siege onagers. And he is rightly... Oh my goodness, what a shot. Oh, wow. I think a little bit of micro would have made a huge difference there. The cav get in and do a lot of damage to siege onagers, but no. Those siege onagers were coordinated and take a big bite out of that scout horde. Before they could get into range, the pressure is on. And I think if you're green, you've got to be sweating bullets. Not about the hoplites. The scorpions can take care of them. Not about the light cap. And probably not even about these capped rams that are moving in from the north. No, the one thing I'm worried about right now are the siege onagers. Here come more light cav. More light cav. Careful about grouping them up. The hoplites. Anti-cav units. Try to protect those siege onagers, but you know, you do have 20,000 food in the bank, so you can afford to lose some light cav. It's all right. Yeah, there we go. There we go. We see the siege onagers going down. I mean, some still stand, but even so, that's a big chunk out of that siege pressure. Yeah. Now remember, the Emperor's right here, so kind of like with Beefy Dredge earlier. All of Conqueror's hopes and dreams rest right in these few tiles. Everything else is a distraction at this point. You can get out those elephants. They should probably be fighting. Yeah, the siege onagers are down. We've got capped rams absorbing scorpion fire, and they last a lot longer than most of the other units on the field, but they too will fall eventually to the withering array of heavy scorpion fire. And take a look at this. Yeah, we've got auxiliary cav putting in the work. Oh. Ouch, ouch. That's a big loss to the elephants. Yeah, we need to get more scouts in here. This is good for Conqueror. The thing is, I don't even want to move the camera because everything depends on this area right here. Right, and I'm just checking from the north, see what's coming up. But if Conqueror holds, he wins the game off this wonder. If he loses the wonder, it's like almost immediately like he wins. I mean, he's only got 20 more, years on the clock. And then he wins it with his own wonder. So somebody is about to win this game. And guys, if you were looking for an exciting finish to an 8-player Regicide match, I don't think it gets better than this. You know, the thing I would be worried about is to show you a video where at the end you say, yeah, it's kind of obvious this one guy beat everybody else, and no, who knows? At this point, you could leave a comment below. At this moment, this minute mark, say, okay, I think so-and-so is going to win it. Is it going to be Conqueror? Is it going to be Likey? You could put down your answer in the comments below, and your guess is as good as mine, right? I mean, you have no idea who can actually mass up the forces needed to win this thing, right? It very easily could be Conqueror holds. It could be Likey pushes through and wins. You make the one wrong move or the one right move, you win it all. We're down from 350 years to 240 years. About a third of the way there. Still quite a few scorpions on the field. You know what I really love? Stupid caps, that's the Conqueror, yeah. I really do love how he's getting out a monk. One monk to heal all of these units. He should, and he actually is doing this right now, garrison your weaker units, have them heal in the fort, pop them out to fight. Okay, so we got a contingent of auxiliary cav, contingent of elephants. Here we go, light cav, hoplites. Whoa, light cav from the north, light cav from the south. This huge choke point moment here. Whoa, whoa, whoa. The elephants come out. Now, they're healed up a little bit from their stay in the fort, but were they out of position? I don't think so. I think this worked okay for Conqueror. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, we're down to 220 years. This is going to take a while. Well, it'll take a little bit. But somebody's going to win this game shortly. Yeah, I've really enjoyed casting this game and showing off just the different moments, the battles. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Probably the one thing I wish we saw more of, and I'm surprised we didn't, is more naval combat. We saw Natsumi Schwartz earlier. We saw him build an early naval presence. And I'm kind of surprised he didn't try to claim like total water control and, you know, just attack all the other fishing ships and claim that part of things. But on the flip side, it doesn't really surprise me because I think that puts too much of a target on your back. But I do wish we had seen a little bit more in the way of, you know, polyremes and then fire ships and then hemiolias and, you know, the octeres and just a little bit more in the way of naval combat. We haven't really seen a lot of that in this game. Okay, another wave. Wow, scorpions. Oof, just, whoa, whoa. Ouch, 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 ouch. We're down to 19 scorpions. Big, big shot there with siege onagers. Let's go back and look at like his economy because he has lost quite a few siege onagers. But look at that. Thanks to those relics, he's still at virtually 20,000 gold. So, as far as I'm concerned, he has all the resources he needs the next 200 years to keep producing gold units. If he can slowly chip away at this mass of army that Conqueror has here, he could take it all. If, to quote the Spartan wit, right? If. Alright, what do we got? We got more auxiliary cav, we have more hoplites. Yeah, just, this is attrition. Are these auxiliary cav, are they going to win the day? Probably not. Not this wave. But is this one of those for want of a nail kind of things where you get just enough HP that you lose one more elephant than you know he needed for the next wave, and you start a small snowball that ends up with like you winning the whole thing? I don't know. I just want to look kind of at the civs now that we're sort of in this situation. What do we got? You know. It's so funny. I think for Athens, at this point in the game, their base tech, the base bonuses don't do anything for them. It's all useless. You're not using the water ships. You're not using infantry. You've already got all the techs you want and then some. You're fine. I think it's got to be the gold, right? The gold is really helping him out here. I have to imagine he went Solonian reforms and Delian League. I hope I did not say earlier that Athens founded the Peloponnesian League, because that would be backwards. Athens founded the Delian League, Sparta founded the Peloponnesian League. And if I made that mistake, and you saw that in the comments below, you made a note that I saw it. I saw it too. I said it right here in the video. All right. Athens founded the Delian League, Sparta founded the Peloponnesian League. And in fact, I do think they have the Delian League as an Athenian reference, and then Sparta. If we go to Sparta, where's Natsumi here? Yeah, there's Peloponnesian League right there. Polyremes +4 attack. And if I didn't make that reference, make that mistake, well, of course I didn't make that mistake. I know what I'm talking about. Here we go. Oh, this is what I've been waiting to see. Heavy siege onager now forcing Carthage to come out from its shell. and go on the offense. This is very scary for Carthage. We're down to 18 Scorps, which is not too many Scorpions dead, but you know what? I mean, every time, one more Scorpion down, one more Scorpion down. If this were to go on ad infinitum, then, or ad infinitum, let me use my classical Latin pronunciation, ad infinitum, then Carthage loses this. Because I think you just, the wave tactics that Athens is bringing to the table is too much. But, it's not about surviving to infinity, it's about surviving for another 120 years as we see onagers moving in from the north. And that's gotta be the trickiest thing for Carthage is these war elephants, they're slow. And he's moving them all the way out to take care of these trebs. He has no military up front. The only thing he's got are the Scorpions, and he's got a couple scout cav, let's be fair. He's got scout cav, he's got some spearmen. They will put in work. Okay, what we need to see from Carthage right now. You have got to send your Vils and repair this wonder. The wonder is now at half HP. And there's been no attack. You know, I wouldn't expect there to be, but there's been no attack in Athens base, so their wonder, his wonder. I wish I could identify it. Maybe that's the Temple of Artemis. No, maybe that's the part. You know what? I'm not even gonna, someone's gonna tell me. All right, but the Athenian wonder is doing just fine. It will easily pick up the win if Carthage's wonder falls. That castle's been put in so much work. This is sweat-inducing. If you are Conqueror, you are crossing your fingers. Say, man, I hope, come on, come on, come on. Like BP Dredge earlier. You know, like, oh man, just 17 more years, 16 more years, can I hold on? Can he hold on? He's completely out of stone. I don't think he can repair the wonder anymore. We're stuck at 2,900 HP and falling. Or I should say falling. Okay, wait. Like I go down. Whoa. Here come Cap Rams. You will lose if Likey's Wonder... Well, no, I don't care about Likey's Wonder. I care about Conqueror's Wonder. 80 more years left. Oh my goodness. Heavy Siege Onager. You got attacks from the south and attacks from the north. And you know what? If Likey pulls this off, I think the thing that makes the difference is Likey attacking from 2 angles. I think if he does the exact same thing, but he only sends in his units from one side, he probably loses this. But because he's attacking from 2 angles, he may, as the castle goes down, no more static defenses defending this wonder. It's all about the Scorpions now. The Scorpions, can they stop the Cap Ram? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. 2,400 HP, 2,200 HP. The Scorpions are falling. We have no more elephants on the field. Scorpions, oh no. More Cap Rams coming in. More Cav coming. That's cavalry. That's not light Cav. Those are knights. We got Cap Rams. Oh my goodness. 97 HP. And the Conqueror's Wonder falls with 50 some odd years left on the counter. That's game. I no longer have a win condition, and he's exactly right. He is down. He's got no resources, 10 bills, like he wins in 70 years. GG, well played. Athens pulls off the first recorded 8-player community Regicide game of Roma ad Bellum. Congratulations, Likey. Well done, well fought, and congratulations to all 8 of the players. Where's Tread? Oh, is there, what, like the Emperor? Where's the Emperor right now? Oh, okay, yeah, here we go. Boom! There it is, and that is the game. What a match! That is how you want an 8-player, free-for-all, Regicide diplomacy match to end. Neck and neck, down to the wire. Likey and his Athens. Again, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. He is the winner, so I really want to make sure I get it right. I think it's Likey. It might be Lakey, Leichy. Congratulations. Well done. Let's leave this map real quick and just take a look at some of the stats. Conquer 45,000 military points, 32,000 for the eventual winner, 10,000 eco for Athens. And that right there is the highlight. I think it's got to be about the relics. It's got to be about the gold. Probably Solonian reforms came into play there with the gold generation on the farms. That was huge. Units killed. Nearly 2,200 for the Conqueror. Living up to his name and probably doing more to wipe out units left and right than anybody else. More than double what Likey's got. And I think a part of that has to be because in those final battles, I mean, Likey's strategy was massing units, waves of units. Conqueror's strategy is high quality elite units, right? So it takes a lot more to knock down one Carthaginian unit than one Athenian unit, but you can't argue against that economy. Look at this, 300 buildings raised. That's not just Conqueror. That's Likey going in and taking out, Cristo Rey, BP Dredge, putting in the siege works. Wow. The economy. Look at this right here. Just look at this. And this is the number. I think this is it more than anything. This is the number that wins you the game. 77,000 gold. BP Dredge in second with 57,000. Carthage only 43,000. And eventually he stalled out. I think that if Conqueror... You know what I'm going to say? I'm going to go ahead and make a prediction. Let's return to the map here. Let's rewind. Right here. If Conqueror picks up these two relics as soon as this area is clear, that might be enough gold that he can afford a little bit more support back at home. I don't know if that swings the game in his favor or not, but it would have helped. It would have helped, and it would have been a lot of gold, a lot of critical gold where he needed it. Who knows if that was enough, but that would have been good. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining me on this incredible adventure. I hope you enjoyed this one. A really different game for the channel, both for a Roma ad Bellum video as well as, again, an 8-player diplomacy game, a longer one. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, let me know in the comments below. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel. Let me know you want to see more games like this. I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly did. But for now, this is the Iron Kaiser, signing off. Have a great one out there.